Ah, the NES. Just speaking of that console tends to bring back memories for gamers of their childhood, sitting around and playing games like The Legend of Zelda and Super Mario Bros. However, sporting an official catalog of 679 games being released in North America, there were bound to be some games which didn't achieve widespread notoriety but are endeared for their gameplay, story, creativity, or all-around wackiness. So today, we're going to dive into the hidden gems released on the Nintendo Entertainment System. I'm Brian from LevelDownGames.com, and without further ado, here's our top 10 hidden gems on the NES. Our number 10 pick comes from SNK, known on the NES for their Ikari Warriors trilogy and of course the amazing baseball stars. Crystalis hit the North American shelves in 1990 to minimal success. Set in a post-apocalyptic world, the protagonist awakens from a cryogenic sleep 100 years after a nuclear war to save his own son, Sean. Wait, that's Fallout 4. Awakening from a cryogenic sleep after a nuclear war, the protagonist is struck with amnesia, not knowing who he is or the events of the past. Led by 4 wise sages and a mysterious woman, he begins to discover he may be humanity's last hope. One of the better RPGs for the console, this game has more of a cult following than anything else. Even though this game is over 25 years old, I don't want to spoil the story, so just take our word for it. This is definitely worth playing at least once. Coming in at number 9 is the Data East classic, Karnov. A port of the arcade game of the same title, the game puts you in control of Jinbarov Karnovsky, Karnov for short, a muscle-bound, fire-breathing, ex-circus strongman who is on a mission to search for treasure. Karnov went on to become one of the official mascots for the Data East brand, which really only ever made one other good game in their entire run, Kid Nicky. Ha! You thought I was going to say Bad Dudes, but you were wrong. So wrong. That game was at least honest enough to put bad in its title, but I digress. Aided by power-ups along the way, Karnov battles through 9 levels infested with, but not limited to, angry sword-wielding monks, dinosaurs, evil genies, merfolk, gargoyles, killer tree monsters, fire ghosts, rock golems, bone snacks, and skeletons on ostriches. Give this one a try. And then when you're done, never play any other Data East game ever again. Our number 8 hidden gem for the NES is Wampum. Released in 1991 in North America by Jaleco, known mainly for their bases loaded games during the NES era, Wampum is a retelling of the Chinese Monkey King story. A journey to the West with a Native American protagonist. The Japanese version of the game, Sayuki Rolled 2, is essentially the same game with the Monkey King being the protagonist and recolored backgrounds and enemies. The game is very much akin to Capcom's Mega Man. After an initial level, the player faces 6 bosses in any order they choose after completing the first level and picks up a new weapon each time. This is a very fun game. The only downside is, unlike Mega Man, there is no password system, but there are unlimited continues, so don't give up. With responsive controls, a terrific soundtrack, and sharp graphics, this game is definitely one that we recommend for fans of the genre. In at number 7 is Mighty Bomb Jack. Released on the NES in 1986 by Tecmo, who was responsible for the Ninja Gaiden trilogy as well as hits such as Rygar, Tecmo Bowl, and Tecmo Super Bowl, Tecmo Baseball, and of course, Tecmo World Wrestling. Mighty Bomb Jack was a game that really didn't get much love upon release and to this day is considered by many as a bad game. We disagree with the hate, and there had to be something there because Nintendo did bring this game to the Wii Virtual Console where it did quite well. In this sequel to Tecmo's Bomb Jack, we follow our hero through 16 levels set inside a pyramid to save the royal Pamera family from the dastardly demon Belzebut. Don't let the negative reviews sway you on this one. With crazy jumps, power-ups, transforming enemies, collecting bombs, and secret paths to unlock along the way, this is a solid game that doesn't get the acclaim it deserves. It wouldn't be a proper top 10 list without a game based upon a movie. While 99% of those games were absolutely horrible, I'm looking at you, Ghostbusters. Our number 6 pick, Willow, was one of the few movie games on the NES to break from the standard format of being a craptastic waste of time. Released by Capcom in 1989, the publisher behind Mega Man, Little Nemo the Dream Master, and just about every good Disney game on the system, this action RPG follows the character from the amazing fantasy movie Willow. While not following the plot of the movie exactly, or really that closely at all to be honest, there are interactions with familiar characters from the film. The gameplay is smooth and the story is a rewarding experience, pretty much what you'd want from any RPG. Entering our list at the number 5 spot is an odd game to say the least. Monster Party was released by Bandai in 1989, whose NES lineup included Wizardry, Ninja Kid, and everyone's favorite game, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. In this side-scrolling adventure, you play as Mark, a kid with a baseball bat on his way home from a game who saw a falling star, investigated it, and met a gargalistic demon named Bert who asked for help fighting the forces of evil from the Dark World. The characters fuse and Mark can become Bert, who shoots lasers, for a short time via power-ups. The duo fight various iterations of classic horror characters, as well as some rather bizarre ones such as an onion ring fried shrimp kebab combo. I'm telling you, you can't make this stuff up. With a password system that will frustrate you to no end. Seriously, did we really need lowercase, capitals, and punctuation involved? You'll want to either beat this in one sitting or be very meticulous with writing it down. Still, this is a classic game that every retro gaming fan should experience. In our number 4 spot is Stinger, a lesser-known title from Konami, a company that used to make video games such as Castlevania, Metal Gear, and Contra, to name a few. Released in 1987 and a console-only sequel to the arcade classic Twin B, this is easily the most bizarre shoot-'em-up game we've ever played. Aliens attack Konami headquarters and kidnap their top scientist. It's up to you to save him from some of the most random enemies and bosses in any game to date. Flying shoes, donuts, telephones, a battle against a slice of watermelon or a boombox. This game is totally weird in all the right ways. You can enlist a friend as this game is 2 players simultaneously, because nobody would believe you if you explain this game to anyone else. Power-ups are abundant but need to be juggled to activate, there are twin attacks so teamwork is rewarded, and the game's colors are vibrant. Give Stinger a playthrough with a friend, its replayability holds up even to this day. As we enter our top 3, we have text-based adventure game Princess Tomato in the Salad Kingdom. Released in 1991 by Hudson Soft, who brought us such hits as the Adventure Island series, Bomberman, Mylan's Secret Castle, and Fox Xanadu. Due to the NES's lack of a keyboard, the player chooses commands such as open, move, talk, and hit. The story sees brave Sir Cucumber, a knight, tasked to defeat the wicked Minister Pumpkin and save the kidnapped princess. Joined by his sidekick, Percy the Baby Persimmon, you are led on a journey through a world of anthropomorphic fruit and vegetable people. The gameplay consists of the standard tryout commands on everything to progress method, standard in most text-based or point-and-click games. There are fetch quests, mazes, and the occasional battle which relies on a rock-paper-scissors mechanic the game calls Finger Wars. This is an all-ages game, not too difficult but not too easy, and a memorable experience for all to enjoy. At number 2, we have Little Samson. Released in the US in November of 1992 by publisher Taito, notable hits being Bubble Bobble, Elevator Action, and Panic Restaurant. For collectors, this along with other late 90s releases are hard to come by as they were simply not purchased due to being released after the Super Nintendo's release in 1991. You play as brave mountaineer Little Samson as he embarks on a great journey. Takid, the Prince of Darkness, has attacked the Imperial Forgy and only you can stop him. You'll venture through a robust world filled with diabolical beasts and evil creatures aided by the owners of the magic bells. With the ability to transform into a fierce dragon lord, a mighty rock lord, and a mouse, you will destroy the envoys of evil while collecting power-ups along the way. This is a solid game, easily a 5-star NES experience whose only crime was being released on a system which was on the way out. If you can track down a copy, we highly recommend giving this game your time. And in our number 1 spot comes Shadow of the Ninja. Released in the US in 1990 by Natsume, who only ever made one other game for the NES, the unfortunately titled SCAT, Special Cybernetic Attack Team. Set in a futuristic New York City in the year 2029, wow, the future is almost here, and supported 2-player co-op, our heroes must stop the evil Emperor Garuda, who has taken over the United States of America. To explain the gameplay style, imagine if Castlevania, Contra, and Ninja Gaiden were thrown into a blender, the result would be this game. This was the first video game to feature a male and female team, and the reviews for the game were mostly positive. It's a fast-paced action game, great controls, and very reminiscent of the games it borrows elements from. I wouldn't go so far as to say that this game is better than Ninja Gaiden, but the two-player co-op aspect does make up for any shortcomings this game may have. And that's our list of the top 10 hidden gems on the NES. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel here on YouTube. Once you're done with that, and if you want to stay up to date on all things Level Down Games, you can follow us on Twitter at OriginalLDG, find us on Facebook, and follow us over at twitch.tv/LevelDownGames. We have 3 podcasts uploaded to iTunes, Google Play, and YouTube weekly, including our video game podcast, Max Level, a podcast dedicated to soundtracks and video game music known as BG Mania, and one all about the world of professional wrestling and the gorgeous lads of wrestling. We also produce reviews for the latest releases, do unboxings, let's plays, and so much more. All of our content can also be found over at our main home on the internet, and hopefully yours as well, leveldowngames.com. Until next time, keep on gaming.